All right, welcome to the ball field today. Coming to you live from St. Gen as the St. Genevieve Dragons host visiting Sykeston Bulldogs. Both teams looking to capitalize on a possible win in this chilly April day, about 50 degrees or so, with about a 10-mile-per-hour wind that's blowing a little bit over to right field. On the mound today is going to be Mr. Willett, who's going to start for the Dragons. Looking at the overall right now, Dragons come in on the day with a 5-2 record. They're 3-1 at home and 2-1 away. They're averaging about 5.1 runs a game, and they're allowing about 4.9. So hopefully they can keep the momentum going here. Visiting is going to be Sykeston. Sykeston has a 3-2 record right now. They're 2-2 at home and 1-0 away. They're averaging about 7.6 runs per game and allowing about 8.4. We're getting ready to get underway here today as St. Gen hosts the Sykeston Bulldogs. We'll be back in a minute. All right, so we're getting ready to get underway here as St. Gen loads up on defense here. So number 9, Keen Atkins, the right fielder for the Bulldogs, steps to the plate. Willett delivers a strike on the first pitch, and we start the count 0-1. If you're just tuning in, we're in the top of the first batter up. Willett sending in the second pitch here. Nice shot on the outside half, just missed. Ball one. So the count's even 1-1 right now as Noah Willett goes into motion. Throws it a little high, foul ball to the right side. Looks like it's going to peel away. And count goes to 1-2. Definitely ball, if it's in the air, is tailing to the right due to the wind right now. So it's going to be imperative to keep the ball down and also to judge the dynamics of the ball in the air as Willett throws a ball down low and outside for ball two. Deuce is wild here on the account. Atkins, a junior. Nice off-speed pitch. Swing and a miss. Caught by the catcher. Bosler goes ahead and does the payoff there to make sure they get the out. And that'll be a strikeout for Willett on the first batter. And out number 1. Coming to bat now, number 3. Jamison Sifford, the junior. Looks like he may be the shortstop for Sykeston here as he digs in. Willett with the delivery. Looked like he tried to get a curveball he couldn't get on top of. Went high, ball 1. Willett working on the end of the rubber here. And nice pitch high, gets him to bite. It's going to be a tough one here. Third gets it and can't scoop it. So Schwagert, the third baseman, tries to come up with one. Tough little dribbler there down third base. He fired and he had a shot at it, but first baseman couldn't dig it out, and that'll be a runner on first with 1 out. That brings to the plate number 10, Peyton Mitchell, the junior. Ball high. Not too bad of a pitch. Looked like belt high, couldn't get him to bite. Trying to learn where the strike zone is today. Noah's sitting 1-0 right now with 1 out, top of the first. That's a good pitch. Could be a 2-ball to shortstop to 2, and he digs it and gets him. And that'll be a double play for the Dragons, and that'll end the inning as they come off the field. Great play there. Had to scoop it, so great job by Bennett going down and getting it. And looks like we went through 1, 2, and 3 for the lineup for the Bulldogs, and we'll get to see our home field Dragons open up at the bottom of the first. All right, coming back to the bottom of the first inning. Dragons going to get their first shot at the pitcher here, and Sykeston, and see if they can put some points on the board here, some runs on the board. Looks like on the mound today is number 13, Brody Nall, a senior. Is big righty here as he faces the other pitcher, Noah Willett, leadoff. Noah digs in, look at the first pitch. A little inside for ball 1. So sitting up 1-0 on the count. As he goes into the windup, and he takes a good cut at it, just misses, fouls it back. Counts even at 1. Looks like on deck is Jeremiah Bird. Ball inside, just misses. Looked like he could have probably leaned into that, but we're going 2-1 here. Batter's choice here on this pitch. Oh, and that time he did take it. And that'll be a hit batsman, and Willett will take his base, and good leadoff at bat there as Isaiah Bird comes to the mound, or comes to the plate. And St. John has one on with no outs here. As they look to possibly take advantage of this situation. Bird batting .364 right now currently for the Dragons in the number 2 hole, as Willett gets a little dance music from the pitcher over there as the pitcher comes set. And the delivery, nice hit straight to the second, or the shortstop though. Looks like it may be a double play here, and I think he gets him. Yep. So Bird on the first pitch drives one straight to the shortstop. He didn't even have to move, and it was a pitch, catch, and throw. So that brings up Ottens. Otten's number 29, the right fielder, in the number 3 spot, batting .316 for St. John right now. And the delivery, low and outside, ball 1. So with 2 outs, bottom of the first, St. John leadoff got hit by a pitch, wasn't able to capitalize on that and get him over. As pitcher goes in the windup, and there's a hit up the middle, and it looks like he's going to get there. And Otten's with a nice little single, and St. John has another runner on with 2 outs. And that brings up big Schweigert, Justin.
Schweigert.
Looking at batting .235 right now, number 4 spot. Hoping to try and get the runner over, maybe dump one in over to the right side as Otten leads off. Brody Nall, the pitcher, kind of digs in here. Likes what he sees and brings it to the plate. Foul ball. Belt high fastball right down the middle. Schweigert just missed it, popped it straight back. Counts 0-1 with 2 outs. Schweigert kind of in the middle of the plate. He doesn't sit back in the box, so I think he's got a little faith in his hands right now. Let's see what he's doing. I don't think the pitcher's overpowering with speed here as Nall brings the ball home. He hits the corner. There's a stolen base, and that'll be nice job by Ottens as the pitch was on the outside corner. Schweigert didn't like that call. 0-2 count right now, so he's going to have to protect the plate here as he spreads the legs out a little bit, and looks like he's going to just have to throw the hands here. So Ottens, the potential run here as he gets off base. Another outside pitch away. Counts 1-2 right now with 2 outs, bottom of the first. Dragons have 1 man on second base right here. Bowman on deck. And he kind of dribbles it down third base line. It's going to be a foot race, bobbled by the third baseman, and looks like they split the difference as St. John now looking at first and third with 2 outs. And Sawyer Bowman comes to the mound, or comes, the DH comes to the plate here. Sawyer hitting a modest 174 right now, looking to trying to get on a streak here. With potential RBIs sitting over there at third. Pitcher comes set here. And the delivery. And there's a hit. It might get in. Nope. Good play by the third baseman, knocking it down. But he throws it away to first. And that's going to advance the runner to third. And they're going to just basically rotate positions as Ottens comes in for a run here. And so St. John immediately gets on top 1-0 thanks to an error on the third baseman on the throw. Great play, knocking it down. He just couldn't deliver on the throw. He just overextended. So St. John now looking at first and third with 2 outs again, same situation. And the delivery. And there's a hit up the middle, and that's going to be another run. Great job by Ferranto, just throwing the hands, hitting the ball right back up the middle, and now we've got first and second 2 outs, and the merry-go-round continues as that brings up Bosler. St. John putting 2 on the board here. So Isaiah Bosler batting 105 right now, looking to try and put something up the middle. Great job by Ferranto. He'd only had 2 at-bats so far this year and was able to snag that one up the middle. So hopefully he'll continue that trend as we got first and second with 2 outs. Bottom of the first, Bennett on deck as Bosler loads up in the box. Let's see what happens here. Brody delivers right down the middle, and a swing and a miss. Strike 1. So Null's not an overpowering pitcher right now, just nice motion. Probably throwing a low 70 miles an hour probably, but he just brings it right there. Can throw any batter off, especially if they've been used to hitting or practicing hitting anything that's about 80 miles an hour. So it's pretty tough for a batter to come out and make that adjustment because they're anxious. So timing's everything right now as he comes to the plate, and that ball's high. Brushes Bosler back a little bit. The count's 1-2. Bosler's got to protect anything close here. With 2 outs, runner's got to go on contact. And there it is, a nice shot by Bosler and right to the second baseman. He can't be unhappy with that. Great pitch to hit. He drives a line drive, but right at the second baseman. So that'll end the inning for the Dragons as they score 2 runs in that one. And they go up 2-0 to start the top of the second against the Sikeston Bulldogs, as Sikeston's number 4, 5, and 6 come to the plate, and we'll see if Willett can continue the trend that he started in the first inning. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to top of the second here. Sikeston has Luke Gadberry coming to the plate here, number 4, the senior for Sikeston. Noah comes into the windup. There was a curveball. Just can't get it to break down. Belt high, just doesn't hit on the back end. So that'll be ball 1. As he goes back into the windup here in motion, goes up top again. And Gadberry is looking at a 2-0 count, so it's going to be a hitter's delight here. If you have to swing if he doesn't want to, and take a look at a couple more pitches by Noah. Noah takes it low, so it's 3-0. He looks at the coach. Coach just gives him the nod. And the pitch, right down the middle, strike 1. So Noah finds the spot there as Gadberry digs in again, looking to drill something here. Ball high, and that'll be ball 4, and that'll walk the batter as Gadberry goes to first base. So no outs here, top of the second. Sikeston's leadoff gets on a walk by Noah Willett on a 3-1 pitch. That's going to bring, let's see, number 2, Connor Michael, the senior left fielder, to the plate. Ball 1 by Willett as he's having a little control issue right now, throwing a lot of things upstairs. See if he can lock it in. So it's a 1-0 count. Number 4, Gadberry at first. Gadberry takes a lead off, throws the ball in the dirt. Great stop by Bosler to keep that from going any further. And Noah's 2-0 behind the batter again. Not a good spot for a number 5 hitter at 2-0 with a man on first as he gets to dig in and take a real crack at something good. Noah checks him out. The runner goes. Ball's up top, and nice shot by Bosler, who quick release, good throw, great tag, and there's the first out for St. John as they get Gadberry in an effort to steal. Batter didn't really protect him on the steal by throwing his hands at the ball. He just let it kind of go by on an upstairs pitch, and Bosler took advantage of it. And Willett comes back with another good pitch as it's 3-1 right now on the count with 1 out, top of the second. And there's another one right down the heart, fouled back by Michael. So Willett going with the full house here at 3-2. He's going to can't seem to find it. Is low and in the corner. So that's another walk. So first two batters up, walk, as we got one out. And that brings to the plate number 6, Sam McGill, the sophomore.
Number 6, McGill.
So McGill, a shortstop for the Sykeston Bulldogs here, looking to try and help his team out. Has big lead over there at first base, and I got a feeling he's going to go at some point. Another ball upstairs. Bosler, quick snap back. Just gets back. So great effort by Bosler there on the quick snap to first. And Willett taking his time, checking the runner out. Can sense something here as he looks to go back home, and and he snaps back again. Keeping the runner honest over there at first. Time out there by the home plate umpires. Bosler shines his shoes, and let's see what number 6, Sam McGill, does at the plate. So the sophomore kind of digs in the back of the plate. Willett comes set, he throws. Oh, and he hits the batter. And that's going to put runners in a tough position in first and second right now with just one out. And Noah's having a little bit of trouble locking the mechanism and trying to find the zone here. So that's going to bring up number 1, James Lapierre. He is the DH today, senior DH. So the designated hitter here, a senior, looking to try and possibly squib the ball to the right side and advance his players to second and third with one out. Sykeston knocking on the door here as Lemire sets up the right-handed batter. Willett with 2 men on, 1 out. Needs to bear down here, find the zone. Throws a curveball in the dirt on the outside half, and that's ball 1. So Willett having trouble trying to get ahead of the batters right now and kind of digging himself a hole. So hopefully he could throw a KY ball here and run a double play up and get the boys out of here as Willett comes set, and the pitch. Nice pitch. Big cut by the senior, and counts even, 1-1. So if you're just tuning in, it's the top of the second, and the Bulldogs are kind of threatening here on first and second on a walk and a hit batsman. And the DH digs in. Nice pitch, and that'll be a strike. So the count 1-2 as Willett looking to try and find something not too sweet for the batter to hit here. Maybe get him to chase something upstairs. And the delivery. He's got the off-speed pitch, and he gets him. Nice job. So curveball upstairs, and that'll sit Lapierre. He'll sit him down, and that brings up number 17 for the Bulldogs, Barrett Stokes, the right fielder. So Stokes looking to try and get the runners over here. The count's 0-0 as the first pitch is delivered. Nice pitch. It's going to be hit right to the shortstop. He's going to take it himself and get the force out over at second, and that ends the inning. So Willett pitches himself out of a jam there, and the Dragons will come to the plate to start the bottom of the second. Still in the lead, 2-0, as St. John looks to keep the bats rattling. We'll get back to you. All right, welcome back to start the bottom half of the second inning as the Dragons get ready to bat here against the Sikeston Bulldogs. Brody Nall for the pitch. Strike one. Good swing by Bennett. Bennett just trying to find the rhythm here, the pitcher. Another pitch right there, but he misses the outside half. Same location, though, knee high. And looks like there's a little rhythm. The pitcher's getting in here, and Bennett ready to go as he digs in. And there's a hit ball to the shortstop. Nope, third baseman intercedes, throws the ball to first, gets Bennett, and that's out number one. And that brings up number 12. Dominic Johnson. So Johnson digs in, gets a ball hit right off the hands to the second baseman and is thrown out on the first pitch by the Sikeston Bulldogs here. And Noah Willett, leadoff, coming back to the plate here. So Willett trying to help his cause here. Digs in, and there's a base hit maybe. Oh, my. And another great play by the Sikeston Bulldogs as Noah Willett hits a laser line drive straight to the shortstop, snagged without even having to move, and that'll get the Sikeston Bulldogs out of the inning. So at the end of two, St. John up by 2. Moving into the third inning, that's going to bring Sikeston up, and they're going to look to try and even the score here as St. John goes back out on the field. We'll be back in a moment. All right, returning back to the game here. If you're just joining us, it's the top of the third as St. John on defense takes the field and gets ready to battle against Sikeston's hitters here is number 8, Pierce Baker, the junior. Second baseman comes to the plate. Baker looking to get a good leadoff here. And we'll see if Willett here can start off strong. And the windup, pitch, curveball, down low and in the dirt, ball 1. So Willett trying to start off with an off-speed pitch, get him to chase, couldn't do so, and we're going to see how he responds on the next pitch. The delivery, low on the ground, ball 2. So Willett's still struggling to get ahead of the batter right now, especially the leadoff right now. And looks like Baker's got a hitter's delight. Ball high, 3-0. So Pierce probably will take this next pitch, hoping for a walk as he tries to draw one here. And the wind up, and that ball is high. So 4 straight balls here as Baker goes to first, and leadoff reaches again, and that brings up number 9, Keen Atkins, the junior. Atkins was the leadoff, so we're back to the top of the lineup here for Sikeston as Willett checks out over there. Baker, who's got a leadoff, and he goes, nope, he fakes, good bunt here, and Willett's going to have to take the take the easy out there at first, and great sacrifice bunt there as Atkins gets the bunt down, and that moves their man over to second with 1 out, and that leaves their number 2 hitter, Jamison Sifford, the junior.
Number 3, Sifford.
So Sifford looking to try and maybe push the ball over to the right side and have an opportunity to get his man in as he leads off from second. Initial pitch high by Willett. Willett showing a little bit of frustration there. Catcher calls the ball. Willett delivers, and that ball's hit a long way. And it looks like Fly's going to get the ball. Good catch. Nice throw in. Hits the cutoff there and keeps the man at second. And that'll be 2 outs. As the wind, it looks like, according to the flags, have shifted and it's blowing straight in. So with the wind blowing straight in, you can't put that ball in the air. You're going to have to keep it on the ground, or it's going to have to be a line drive. It's not going to carry, as we just saw there. And Willett gets him an out, and there's 2 outs now for the Dragons with a man on second. And the delivery, curveball outside. Nice stop by Bosler. Quick snap over to second as Bosler keeps the runner honest. Number 10 for Sykes and Peyton Mitchell, the juniors, at the plate right now. He's sitting 1-0 as Noah delivers. Ball high, and another snap throw, and nothing there for second. But good catch by Dom, and the count's 2-0 right now. Mitchell with a good count can pick his poison, and he drives one to second, right into the hands of Johnson. Johnson to first, out, and St. John gets out of the inning with no damage done. So at the end of the top of the third, goose eggs for Sykeston, as they've had a man or men on every inning, it seems like, but they just haven't been able to produce anything across the plate for a run. St. John able to play some good defense for Willett, and they get out of the inning, and that'll bring us to the bottom of the third as St. John comes up to the plate to see if they can add to their lead. We'll be back in a minute.
Number 28, Jeremiah Bird.
All right, coming back to you, top of the third, Jeremiah Bird is going to lead off for the St. John Dragons. Bird looking to get on the leadoff here. And the delivery takes a swing at the first pitch to second base, easily fielded, good throw, and that's out number 1 for Sykeston, as St. John's not sitting in and looking at any pitches. That's quite a we got a lot of players liking that first ball swing here, but they're not hitting it with authority. And that's going to bring up Ottens, who's looking to get on here. As the delivery comes, Ottens outside, takes a ball. 1-0. Otten's batting .316 right now. Looking to hit something off Brody Null. Hits one off the end of the bat on a 1-0 count to the third baseman. He throws it away, and Ottens gets on an error as the third baseman having a little trouble for Sykeston here. I think that's about 3 errors today for him, which would be 1 an inning. That brings up Schwagert. So Schwagert basically is looking to move him over with 1 out. Otten's over at first. Got a stolen base last inning. And snap back by the pitcher. As Nall trying to keep Ottens close. Aware that he stole last time. Nall comes set. And the delivery. And there goes Ottens, fouled off. So it looked like he might have had a hit and run on. Probably a good call with 1 out. As Coach McDaniel trying to play a little aggressive here. Gotta like that. So counts 0-1. He might try it again. Ottens gets a lead here. All comes set. Schwagert waiting for the delivery. And timeout call by the batter as he steps out. And they'll reset. So if you're just tuning in, St. John is on top, 2-0, bottom of the third with 1 out. Senior Schwagert steps up to the plate. He just take another good cut and just missed on that pitch. And the count goes to 0-2. St. John has a man on first right now. Ottens, who is reached on an error. Bowman is on deck. So Otten leads away. As Nall, the pitcher for Sykeston, comes set. And the delivery. And there's a line drive. Great job by Schwagert, keeping his hands in and driving that ball up the middle. And St. John has men on first and second, still with 1 out.
Number 31.
And that brings up
Bowman.
number 31, Sawyer Bowman. So Bowman looking to try and drive something here. Maybe pick himself up an RBI. Comes set in the back of the box. And Nall, the pitcher for the Bulldogs, comes set. Nall delivers. Ball high. So Sawyer looking to try and settle in here. Maybe get something to grind here if he plays his cards right. Nall delivers. That could have been it. Strike 1. So count goes even with 1 out right now, bottom of the second, or bottom of the third. And the delivery. Oh, another good pitch, and he watches it go. So counts 1-2 with 1 out. Bowman cannot be too picky here. He's going to have to throw the hands, kind of spread out and protect the plate. As Nall comes set in the delivery, and the runners go, and there's going to be a run scored. So great call and aggressive by Coach McDaniel as he calls a double steal. Ottens had no problem getting to third. Schwagert, on the other hand, might have had a little bit looked like almost like a delayed steal. The catcher decided to go to second base, and neither the shortstop nor the second baseman were ready for it. Throw goes through into the outfield. Ottens scores, and Schwagert's standing on second by himself. Bowman at the plate counts 2-2 with 1 out, and a swing and a miss, and that's a strikeout. And that's going to advance Schwagert as the catcher drops the ball. They have to throw out Bowman at first. And Ferrano steps to the plate here, looking to possibly add another RBI to his repertoire, as he got an RBI in the first inning. And so Luke digs in, and the delivery, watches the ball outside, ball 1. Ferrano looking pretty patient right now, pretty relaxed. Justin over at third. taking his lead as the pitcher delivers. Strike one, 1-1 right now with 2 outs at the bottom of the third. And the delivery. Fronto out on his front foot looking, but still nice and patient. 1-2 with 2 outs. Seems pretty relaxed. And the pitch, ball outside. Count goes to 2-2 with Deuces Wild here. Man on third for St. John, and Bosler on deck. And the windup and the pitch. Ooh. Good location, belt high, but just a little bit outside. And that's going to bring a full house as Fronto has to dig in. Protect the plate and the delivery. And there's a little foul ball on an off-speed pitch on the outside. And Fronto gets another life. Brody Nall, the pitcher for Sykeston, as we've said before, not an overpowering pitcher, just kind of nice and easy and just kind of lobs it up there. Here comes the next one, and nice hit by Luke Ferrano as he gets a belt-high fastball and just drills it right back up the middle. Same location he did last at bat. So he gets the RBI, and that brings in Schweigert, who scores on an error by the third baseman, and Isaiah Bosler comes to the plate for St. John with Luke Ferrano on first base. And we'll see what Coach McDaniel's going to call here, if he's going to have him go at some point and be aggressive or just let Bosler kind of swing it out. No, didn't like what he saw. Quick snap back to first. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. St. John up 4-0. Bosler digs in and hits one off the end of the bat right to the shortstop. Quick pitch to the second baseman, force out, and that'll end the inning. But not before St. John puts another 2 on the board as they go up 4-0 in the bottom of the third. And Sykeston looking to try to figure something out here as we enter into the top of the fourth. We'll be back in a minute. All right, welcome back to the top of the fourth here. St. John leading 4-0.
Number 4, Gadberry.
Was able to add 2 runs in the last inning, and that's going to bring up number 4, Gadberry, who got on leadoff last at bat that he had. Willett looking to try and settle in here, maybe get ahead of the batters here. He's kind of been on and off a little bit here, but good defense by his team, keeping him in line. And Gadberry digs in. First pitch, hits the ball, finds the wickets, and that's a base hit for him into left field as St. John gets the ball in. So leadoff, Gadberry gets on for Sykeston, and that brings up number 2, Connor Michael. So if you're the coach for Sykeston here, do you play conservative, bunt him over and sacrifice, get him on second and get at least something on the board to try and bolster your team and move, or do you play aggressive and go for and they're going to play aggressive. So Connor Michael, the senior left fielder right now, comes up with a 0-1 count. Gadberry over there at first base. And wouldn't surprise me if possible hit and run here. Gadberry has a little bit of speed. He leads off, and another swing and a miss. Foul ball back. So he didn't miss, he hit the ball. But that'll be 0-2 right now with no outs. Wind blowing straight in, so batters have to drive the ball or put it on the ground today. Willett comes set, and Gadberry fakes, runs, and that's going to be a hit high fly ball to left field. Grabbed nice and easy by Bird, who settles underneath, gets it in, and that's out number 1 for St. John. And that brings up number 6, Sam McGill, the sophomore. So Gadberry on first right now with 1 out. McGill looking to try and get him over. St. John, again, defensively has been playing pretty solid. No real big mistakes that's cost him anything. Willett comes set here. And the delivery. Curveball can't get on top, high, and that'll be ball 1. So trying to get ahead here. Gadberry leads off. He looks like he's getting a little more aggressive over there at first. And that's a swing and a miss. Or a swing and a foul. Willett brings the count back to 1-1 with 1 out. Top of the 4th. Sykeston right now scoreless. Trying to change the momentum here. Gadberry leads off at first base, and the pitch is hit and driven right through the hole and back to left field. Bird comes up with it clean, gets it back into the shortstop, and that's first and second with 1 out, as Sykeston has 2 hits in the same spot right now. And that brings up number 1, James Lapierre, the DH. So Lapierre last inning struck out, or last at bat struck out, but with first and second right now, he needs to look to try and drive this ball over to the right side and advances his runners and give him a chance to get an RBI. Willett comes set, checks out the runner, sends it in, hit to center field, fly, comes in hard, catches the ball, and a little snap throw to second base. Almost got him, but not enough, and it's first and second with 2 outs as Fly elusively slides in on that ball and catches it. And with 2 outs, that brings to the plate number 17, Barrett Stokes, the right fielder. Senior for Sykeston here. Going to feel out Willett. Willett steps off. Didn't like how he felt there. Gets back in the groove. As the runners lead off from first and second, Willett checks the runner. And the delivery. Nice pitch. Bell high outside. And that's strike number 1. So getting ahead of the batter here, 0-1 with 2 outs, top of the 4th. Wind kind of steadily blowing in, as we said, about 10 miles an hour. Willett comes set. The delivery, and fouled off on the hands. And Stokes trying to put something in play here as he's sitting 0-2. So he's 0-2 with 2 outs, first and second. Top of the 4th, Sykeston knocking on the door. But so far, the Dragons have been able to keep him at bay. Willett comes set, and there's going. There's a hit up the middle like a squib back to Noah Willett. Willett throws it to first, gets the out, and that'll end the inning. So great job by the Dragons keeping their composure defensively, and Noah is able to pitch himself out of that, and that'll end the inning as Sykeston comes out of it with nothing as they got 2 men on, stranded, and that's going to bring the score 4-0 as we go to the bottom of the 4th. St. John on top, and they look to try and expand their lead as Eli Bennett will be the first at bat. We'll be back in a moment. So Eli Bennett steps to the plate. And pitch number 1, Bennett takes a swing, hits it to third. Cleanly fields it, throws out Bennett at first for out number 1. First pitch, 1 player up, 1 player down. So Brody Nall, the senior pitcher, going into the bottom of the 4th, still slinging stones here as he comes in the windup. Nice pitch down the middle. Johnson shows bunt, misses, and that's strike number 1. So Brody goes into the windup, the pitch, and inside as Johnson evens the count 1-1. So 1 out, nobody on. Johnson looking to get on. Takes the ball outside. Good, patient at bat here, 2-1. And Nall goes into the windup. The delivery right up the middle, and Dom hits a nice little floater right up the middle on the ground, and that'll be a base hit. And Dominic picks up the single for St. John, and we all know Dom's got a little speed here, so no telling what Coach McDaniel may do here. As Dom, with 1 out at first base, gets a good lead. And there's a first pitch swing, hit to shortstop. Gets 1 at 2, but not enough to get Willett at first. And they're just going to trade spots as Dominic is forced out at second, and then Willett will take his place at first. And that's going to bring up Isaiah Bird with 2 outs, bottom of the 4th.
Number 28, Larry Bird.
As Larry Bird comes to the plate as he digs in. And the pitch. Nice belt high. So Bird takes the first pitch strike. 0-1 count with 2 outs, bottom of the 4th. Noah Willett over at first base right now. And Bird digs in. And the pitch. And he goes for a bunt and misses, hits it foul, and that's 0-2. So he definitely had the third baseman back deep, and if he could have landed that, it definitely would have been a hit. So not a bad idea. But now he's down in the count, 0-2 with 2 outs, bottom of the 4th. He's going to have to swing away and anything close as Brody Nall is ahead of the count. Nall kind of checking out Willett over there at first. Let's see if McDaniel has him go, and he doesn't. And a hit to the shortstop. Sounds like it was off the end of the bat, and that'll be a force out to Willett, and that'll end the inning. So St. John strands 1, comes away with nothing. But going into the top of the 5th, St. John's on top 4-0 against the Sikeston Bulldogs, as the Bulldogs looking to try and answer back in the top of the 5th. We'll be back in a moment.
Sutton.
All right, welcome back. Top of the fifth as St. John takes the field, and they go, or elect to go with a pitching shift here as Maddox Sutton, number 3, takes the mound in place of Noah Willett. Willett, in 4 innings, was able to, with the help of defense, get a couple of goose eggs up there for Sykeston. And Sutton hopefully can bring this one home. So that brings up number 8, leadoff, Pierce Baker, the junior for Sykeston, as Sutton comes set, throws, and that'll be a swing and a foul ball. Ball had a weird rotation on it as it hit the ground. It could have possibly stayed in. Great effort by Sutton to hustle over there and just make sure that that didn't happen. So Sutton gets ahead of the count, 0-1. And the top of the fifth is St. John has a 4-0 lead. And the windup, and there's a nice curveball. Good belt high and fell low. Swing and a miss by the junior Baker, and he's behind in the count, 0-2 right now. So Baker digs in. Good pitch outside. Nothing good to hit there by Sutton, and that'll be ball 1. You get in a situation like this as a pitcher, you're ahead of the count. It's your choice not to throw anything too fine. And another curveball that Baker's able to foul off here. Good pitch and good location. Had Baker off balance, but he was able to fight it off. So Baker 1-2 right now. Sutton's ahead of the count. And the windup. Nice pitch on the outside half, knee high, and he bit the corner, and that'll be a strikeout. And Sutton gets a strikeout at his first batter of the game.
Number 9, Atkins.
So we're back to the top of the lineup here for Sykeston as Atkins, who had a sacrifice bunt, I believe, on his last at bat, comes to the plate. Atkins has a little speed here, looking to try and get on as a possible runner here as Sykeston trying to find an answer here against the Dragons. First pitch, a little bit outside, and that'll be ball 1. Sutton throwing a little good location, but Atkins way up in the batter's box. Drives one to shortstop. Fielded cleanly by Ferrano. Nice snap throw over to first. Bennett, and that'll be an out. And St. John already with 2 outs brings up number 3. For Sykeston, that's be Jamison Sifford, the junior. So Sifford with 2 outs, trying to help his club here. Sutton seems pretty relaxed on the mound here as he goes into the windup and the delivery. Oh, inside half, but it didn't look that inside. I mean, he bit it, but ball 1. Good location. Sutton comes right back, fires one. There's a ball to third base, easily wrapped up there. Good clean fielding by Justin Schwaggart, who sends it over to first for the out, and that'll end the top of the 5th. So once again, Bulldogs have 3 up, 3 down in this inning. Nobody on, nobody stranded. Still goose eggs on the board as they go into the bottom of the 5th. St. John on top, 4-0. As St. John looks to extend. We'll be right back. And we're back to start the bottom of the fifth with Ottens at the plate. Ball one on the outside half. And looks like Sykeston's staying with their pitcher. Ball high, but smoked by Ottens straight to first base. Got his hands on top. Good swing. Drives the ball, but right at the first baseman for out number one. Ottens only got about 2 steps out of the box on that one. And that's going to bring up Justin Swaggart, who's going to look to try and get on here as the delivery. First pitch, a little high. Ball one. So this may be the last inning if they can get him to go all the way for possibly Brody Knoll as he gets a ball driven high to center field by Justin. Not enough juice, especially with the ball blowing in, and that's out number 2. So Knoll, 3 pitches, 2 men down, 2 outs.
31, Sawyer Bowman.
And that brings up Sawyer Bowman, looking to try and get his first hit today. Oh, Bowman digs in as Knoll delivers. Ball inside. And the count goes to 1-0 with 2 outs. St. John on top, 4-0 in this semi-chilly day with 50 degrees. And there's a nice stroke there by Bowman, but it's straight to third base. And he is thrown out on a clean fielded ball by the Sykeston third baseman, and that'll bring up out number 3, and that'll end the inning. But not before we go into the top of the 6th. St. John 4-0. St. John looking to follow behind the new pitcher Sutton and close out the inning. We'll be back in a moment. All right, welcome back. If you're just joining us, we are at the top of the 6th for St. Genevieve's varsity baseball team. St. Jen's varsity right now standing at 5-2, their season record, looking to try and go 6-2, and they're about 2 innings away from doing that as we go to the top of the 6th. Sykeston comes to the plate, looking to try and do something as a nice play all the way around as Sutton delivers a high fastball driven hard by number 10, Peyton Mitchell, the junior for Sykeston, as the shortstop, Luke Ferrano, makes a diving play on the line drive, and that's out number 1. So that brings up number 4, Luke Gadberry, who seems to reach on base every time he's come up, whether it's an error, base hit, or what. But Gadberry steps in here with 1 out, top of the 6th, down by 4, and Sutton delivers, tries to throw a little bit of a curveball, nothing doing, and that's ball number 1. So Sykeston having a little bit of trouble getting things going. They've had in the early innings, they've stranded quite a few people, but weren't able to capitalize thanks to some good defensive plays here as Sutton digs in the glove and the delivery. Ball 2. So Sutton gets behind 2-0 right now, and Gadberry gets to swing at whatever he wants here. The wind up in the pitch. Nice cut by Gadberry. Just misses and fouls it off. Count 2-1 with 1 out, top of the 6th. St. John trying to cap things off here on this chilly 50-degree day. Sutton from the windup and the pitch. Nice shot. Boy, it must have been outside, but it was definitely knee-high, and it looked pretty sweet from here. So the count goes to 3-1 as Gadberry works the count. And the pitch, ooh, a little bit high, and Gadberry once again reaches. So Sutton walks Gadberry, and that puts the man on as Sykeston with one out might get something going here. Number two, Connor Michael, the senior left fielder, comes to the plate here. Gadberry leads off. Sutton checks him out here. See if he bites and comes back to first. Quick snap. Gadberry back. And Sutton, another quick snap. So St. John keeping Gadberry and the Sykeston Bulldogs honest here over at first. If he wants it, he's going to have to earn it. And Sutton comes set, and the delivery fouled off straight behind the backstop, and that'll be an 0-1. So with one out, top of the sixth, Sutton looking to try and maybe throw a two-ball here and double up the Sykeston Bulldogs to get out of here. So Sutton checks Gadberry out again. Looks like a little cat and mouse game here between the pitcher and the runner, and he snaps back again at first as Gadberry makes it back. So Connor Michael, the batter here, sitting in an 0-1 count, and the delivery, and he goes. It's a hit and run, and it's off the glove in a nice oh my goodness. So in a good hit and great effort by Schwager to get the ball, Bird comes up with it cleanly and slung that ball in there, and it looked like he might have had him at third, but it was cut off by Ferranto. And looks like St. John has got a little trouble here with runners at first and third with only one out. And Sykeston knocking on the door here. That brings up number 6, Sam McGill. The wind-up pitch, nice inside pitch, just misses, and that's ball one. So McGill probably sitting on it as the coach is letting him see a few pitches here. And the delivery. Fouled off. So the count goes even, 1-1. Top of the sixth, one out. St. John up 4-0, but Sykeston getting a little something going here. So McGill steps in. Michaels over there at first, got a little lead. Will he go? He does. Nope, a little fake. Nice pitch, just misses. And the count goes to 2-1. So Michaels trying to throw a little magical, illusional running over there as he steps out a little bit. Gadberry nice and even over at third. Sutton comes set. Sutton a little fake to third. Looks back at first. Possibly thinking he might catch him on a mistake here, but nothing doing. And Sykeston sets in at the plate again. Sutton comes set. And the pitch. Nice. As Sutton dials up a strike here. So a swing and a miss by number 6, Sam McGill, the sophomore. And McGill now deuces wild. Let's see what Sutton dials up. Michael's off at first for Sykeston here, looking a little aggressive, and he goes. And a swing and a miss by McGill as Sutton dials up a K. Nice job. And that brings up 2 outs.
Hey, throw to first.
With second and third.
Throw to first. No. Tip, caught. No. That doesn't count.
So second and third with 2 outs. Sutton on the mound, facing number 1, Barrett Stokes. Stokes takes a cut, foul ball back, and Sutton gets ahead. So with second and third and 2 outs, the Dragons up 4-0. Counts 0-1, and Sutton delivers another strike. So Sutton ahead in the count right now as the crowd starts to get into it a little bit, sensing that Sutton might be able to pitch himself out of a jam here as James Lapierre, the DH, is at the plate here. So James on an 0-2 pitch. Here it comes. A little inside, low. And Sutton seems to be in control right now. Defense ready to roll as Sutton comes back on the mound. Second and third. 1-2 count. And the delivery. And it is hit up the middle. There's going to be a play at the plate here. He cleans up, and the coach ends up holding him off. Smart move, or he'd have been pinned. And great job by the center fielder coming in, slinging that ball right into home plate, but not before St. John gives up a run to Gadberry, who scores. And Sykeston, with runners at third and first and 2 outs, got a little rally going here. So that brings up the right fielder, Barrett Stokes, senior for Sykeston Bulldogs. Sutton ahead in the count. Threw a good pitch. It was up high. You just got to give credit to the hitter who went up and got it. Drove it right back up the middle. And the pitch fouled off. And that's strike number 1. So now the score 1-4. Sykeston's got their first run of the game here in this inning with 2 outs. Sutton ahead of the count, 0-1 with 2 outs. Delivers, and that's a ball hit straight to Schweigert. It's fielded easy. Nice throw, and they get the runner, but not before Sykeston puts one on the board. So St. John's going to go into the bottom of the 6th ahead, 4-1, up by 3, and St. John looking to try and get that run back. We'll be back in a moment. All right, welcome back to St. John Baseball. We're here at Yanks Field with the visiting Sykeston Bulldogs. St. John hosts them. That brings up Luke Ferrano to lead off the top of the 6th. And Sykeston's going to continue with their pitcher, Brody Nall, as he delivers. And ball is hit maybe up the middle, and again, another base hit for Ferrano, who is 3 for 3 with 3 hits, 3 singles straight up the middle. And so Ferrano, hot with his bat right now, gets on base with a leadoff, and we'll see what Coach McDaniel decides to do late in the innings. And a quick snap throw back. Ferrano has to dive to get back, but he's safe. Sykeston's going to check him out as Nall, who's been pitching so far, giving up 4 runs, not necessarily his fault with a bunch of errors, sends the ball in, and that ball's hit hard, but straight up by Bosler, and the center fielder camps underneath it, and that's out number 1. So Bosler at the plate on pitch number 1 sends that up again. So Nall's thrown only 2 pitches so far this inning.
Number 30, Eli Bennett.
And so Eli Bennett comes to the plate here as Fronto for St. John leads away from first. Nall checks the batter and delivers a ball, and it's bobbled by the catcher. And Ferrano probably could have made that, but I don't think he was looking for it. And he stayed put. And a missed opportunity for St. John to advance the runner. Bennett digs in, waiting for ball 1. Nall comes set. Ferrano leads away. And the pitch, Ferrano goes. Ball's on the ground outside, and they're going to get him. And so on a tough pitch on the outside in the dirt, catcher comes up clean, fires it off to second, gets Ferrano on the steal. And Bennett sitting 2-0 right now in the count with 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. Just gets to swing away at his leisure. And he check swings. Little flare to first base, caught, and that's out number 3. So St. John on 5 pitches is out of the inning. That's going to bring up top of the 7th as St. John looks to try to finish this off as they're ahead by 3, 4-1 as we go into the top of the 7th as Sutton for St. John goes to the mound to try and close this out, and Sykeston has 3 outs as time's running out for them to try and win this one. So we'll be back for the conclusion of the game here in a minute. All right, welcome to the top of the 7th as St. John looking to try and close out and pick up a win here as Sutton gets in the windup. First pitch, strike down the middle, as I'm sure Sykeston has probably told the batters to take until they get, and looks like they got. So number 8, the hitter for Sykeston, Pierce Baker, the junior, looks as leadoff to try and get on and help his team out of this mess. St. John has other ideas, though, as Maddox Sutton goes to the windup and delivers a nice off-speed pitch, and that's a swing and a miss, and Sutton gets ahead 0-2 in the count. St. John looking to pick up their 6th win of the season right now with the visiting Sykeston Bulldogs, and the delivery, nice pitch, good location by Sutton. Seems to be in pretty good control right now of his of what he's pinpointing down on the catcher. Ball was up and got him to swing, just missed. So Sutton can kind of play around with the location here as he goes into the windup. Let's see what he comes up with. Another pitch upstairs, and this ball's hit hard. driven to left field, but with the wind blowing in, not enough as Jeremiah Bird camps underneath, gets the catch, and that's out number 1. So good swing by number 8, Pierce Baker, as he drives one to left field. But on a day like this, it's just not going to happen. And that's out number 1 as St. John is 2 outs away from a win here at Yanks Field. And that brings up leadoff number 9, Kean Atkins, the junior. Atkins grounded out last at bat, swing and a miss on the first pitch. And Atkins likes to line up really high up in the box here. So Sutton delivers. Nice pitch, belt high right by him, and that's strike number 2. So Sutton doing a good job getting ahead of the count here in the top of the 7th as he sits 0-2 with 1 out. A lot of confidence here out of the young man. And looks like Atkins is going to step out here. So Maddox gets back on the rubber and will re-engage as he goes into the windup. Nice pitch up high, fouled off by Atkins. And Sutton dealing with him right now. Seems to be hitting all the right locations that he's throwing to. See if they can get him to chase. As Bosler dials something up, Sutton delivers inside, and it hits him. And that's going to be a hit by pitcher, and that's going to bring up number 3, Jamison Sifford, the junior. So Sutton ahead of the count just accidentally hits the batter, and that puts a man on. So Sykeston's still very much alive here with a man on first, 1 out, and Sutton comes set, delivers, nice hit to the second baseman. Could be a double play, and they flip it and just miss. So great job overall there by Johnson. Johnson comes up cleanly, flips it to Ferrano. Ferrano fields it good, sends it over to first, and just misses the double play, and that's 2 outs. So we're here right now, if you're just picking up, top of the 7th with 2 outs. Sutton looking to try and finish this one off. And the pitch starts off with a strike. So Sutton been ahead in the count so far to every batter this inning. So great job finding the location that he wants. And it's an 0-1 pitch and off speed, fouled off the tip as the batter was just ahead of the pitch. And we'll see if Sutton can finish this one out. So it's 0-2 with 2 outs. St. John looking to try and extend their record against the Sykeston Bulldogs, who came in today to St. John on a cold, windy Friday. And Sutton comes set, and the pitch up high. Can't get him to chase. And St. John looking to try and fight out of this as Sutton comes set. And that ball's driven deep. It might sneak up on the center fielder, but he's able to flag it down. And that ball was hit with a little bit of urgency, but in the first couple steps in by the center fielder, but Willett's able to take a couple steps back and flag it down, and that's going to end the game. So game ends on a line drive catch by the center fielder, Noah Willett, the initial starting pitcher, and that'll get him a win. And looks like Sutton's going to come in to finish as well. So great job by St. John. Just a team effort here as St. John ends up closing the game out with a score of 4-1 against the Sykeston Bulldogs. That's going to extend their record at home to a 4-1 record and overall 6-2 on the year. Great job by Coach McDaniel's group picking up a win at home. And that's going to kind of finish things out for us today as Johnson does an Ozzie Smith flip. So looking into this week, St. John picks up a win, kind of a tough one considering they've got prom coming up Saturday, but they did not let that distract them. And they fought off a colder day than what was initially forecasted. So thanks for tuning in. And if you're going to tune in again next week, we got a couple games, softball as far as baseball as well. Tune in and we'll pick it up again. Thanks for tuning in. If you have, this is basically Sports Stream Live for St. John baseball, and we look to hopefully see you next week. Take care.